Good morning, guys. What's going on? I'm gonna roll this hose out. Today we got a house wash, a building, and a driveway. The building we washed, I think a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, something like that. And I don't have a cutoff on that. It was covered with algae, and I figured I would have had to have used the hot mix on it, and it came pretty clean. She was really pleased with it, but I kind of felt like it could have been better. Seemed like I always have. Too much hose. I guess it's better to have too much than not enough. But this is one of my customers that I've worked for years. We washed this house every 2 years. We washed the roof on it before it got done. This was the first house that I dealt with oxidation. You see all that fading down below. It's just oxidation. This house really doesn't get dirty just because it just really doesn't. It's white. She keeps it washed. This little corner back here normally gets it. Yeah, and you can see right there it is. She'd been holding off. She normally is earlier in the year, but she's had some work done, and so she'd been holding off until all of it was done so she could get the rest of it took care of. But we're going to wash this building. We're going to wash this house. We've actually did a ton of work here at this property with the lawn business. These rocks here used to have I believe mulch and a different kind of block. So and this is over the last 4 years, we took that block out, put in rock. She had a deck here. We tore it down, covered all from the corner of the house over to here with rock, and we had it cut here. Then we extended it out through here, added all the rock down through there. There wasn't anything on this side when we started. This used to come right here. She had a fence. We extended all that out, went up through there. All that rock goes to the house. Then we made these beds. All this rock, we planted those nandinas. Man, the more I think about it, we really did a lot here. This bed used to come to about here. We moved it out. We had put a torpedo-like block. We put these big blocks so they would match. Let's see. This used to kind of curve in, I believe. We pulled it out, kept it going up through here. And I'm actually gonna pull where it curves here. I'm gonna pull that straight. We transplanted this azalea. She had some nandinas back there, but we put all this block and rock in. It used to be about where that vinyl is, and we pulled it out. Planted these nandinas. I know y'all are like, if you're here for the wash, now look this. That's what you don't want. And how do you fix that, you know? Well, you definitely don't put pressure on it. All we're going to be doing to that today is soft washing it. She used to have a tree here. She had it cut down and stump ground up. Used to keep this sidewalk nasty, so we're going to be hitting that with a hot mix. All this through here is going to get hit. Well, the whole driveway is just going to get soft washed. It's going to look a lot better. Let's see. Down here, we planted 2 nandinas. You can't see it now for all the leaves, but she had a little border, so we ended up taking those blocks, wrapped it around, put the rock in it. And like I said, this is over 4 years. This big not Japanese maple. It's called well, I can't remember what it's called right now. Blaze something. This right here was not anything, so we brought these block in, Took it down through here. Same thing, put the block in, put the rock in, all the plastics underneath it. Shows a little section here that's not looking the best in the world, but I mean, for the biggest part, this is good. And then we wrapped it around through here. Like I said, she used to have a fence through here, and we just tied it in. And we planted that tree. So as far as this property goes, I mean, I'm telling you, we have done a lot. Been here multiple times. Even though there's no trees, I keep the gutters cleaned out every year, spray it out just to make sure. This used to be kind of rough through here, so we took block and made a border here. She has this, what do you call it, lattice here. Well, I got some, replaced it on the bottom, replaced it all the way down through there, and every 2 weeks I come and I trim the ditch for her. Oh, let me show you this too. They put underground power on all these properties, and she didn't like looking at whatever this is. I don't know what it is, what it actually is. So we put, from the road, same thing. We wrapped a block around, put the plastic down, got a couple of loads of gravel, put it in. These are right here called Chinese fringe flower. We put these in so she couldn't see it from the road or from her house. So when she's up there looking and she looks down, she sees the fringe flower and rock instead of transformers or whatever that is. But today we're here for the wash, the building, the house, and the driveway. So I got my hose hooked up. No, I don't have my hose hooked up. I have my hose pulled. Let's get this thing hooked up. Another thing we've done at this yard for the last 2 or 3 years is overseed in the fall. She had some work done, so they had all their stuff here. It killed out a bunch of dead spots. Luckily last night we got some rain, which is great. We've needed it. And so hopefully after that rain, all this grass is going to start coming up. We filled that ditch in, leveled it out because it was a ditch there. Got it where it needs to be right. We've had crepe myrtles, I think 2 ground up, a hole filled in here, and then I filled in that one. I got my water turned on. Oh, I don't have a pressure hose hooked up. Let me do that. All right, I got my Jrod switched over to soap. Just gonna let it run through. I got 200 foot of hose, so that's normally gonna take anywhere between 18 and 22 seconds. I just always count to about 22, 23, and I say I'm good. So we're at 22 seconds now, and we're just gonna start soaping this. You can see some of the area already, but just getting it all wet down. Ain't no sense in using any more than you got to. Simple process, guys. Simple process. And that side's soaked down. We're gonna pull some hose, get a little bit more slack here, and go up on this deck. It's pretty new, but we're gonna just refresh it a little bit. Make sure there is nothing on these balusters. And make sure there's nothing on it. So let me get to spraying some more. Alright guys, we got the house washed. It's looking good. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of issues, just a few here and there. Looked like she had some red clay staining on her porch where they replaced some of the vinyl. And they used old pieces and it just don't look so good. But this building back here, I did downstream it. And I could have hit it again, and hit it again, and hit it again. Okay, could have done that if I had to. But you still see right at the edges here, that black algae. That's what I run into when I'm doing metal roofs that have a lot of the black algae on them. At the very tips, I don't know if that's just where the algae runs off and it's the heaviest. I really don't know, but that's always where it's at. This side here isn't too bad. Like I said, I did wash this a few years ago, last year, maybe the year before, something like that. So the process for this is going to be soft washing it. I'm not going to spend all day downstreaming it, rinsing it, downstreaming, rinsing it, just on and on and on. So I'm going to get the water hose and wet. Really the only place I have to wet is that bush and some of the other ones, but I'm going to just soak this area because I'm fixing to nuke this with a hot mix. Hopefully that top piece up there will come clean. I mean, it does, if it doesn't, it doesn't. But you know, this back side, I mean, I hit all four sides, but this back side came out pretty decent. That vent's still looking a little rough, but you know, not bad. But I'm gonna get the water hose, water the heck out of all this. Now, like I said, we did get rain last night, so that was a plus. I got my soft wash hose pulled out. I'm gonna go flip the valve so I can pour from my tank and hook up my cam lock, and I'll be rocking and rolling. I'll show you that. All right, I'm cam locked to the hose. Gonna come over here, flip my switch. You hear that it's pulling. You hear it's gurgling here. Valve's turned here. I'm gonna turn it down. Now you can hear all that fluid start flowing through my hose. That's already primed up. So we'll go out here and spray it and rinse it and get everything started. Water everything down and then get to spray it. All right, we got our pump wired up. Everything's like it should be. Got everything watered down. Just putting a hot mix on this. Shouldn't take long at all. I'm gonna spray up top. I know that up top's gonna be bad. Try to get all that up there. I don't know if you can see it on the camera. Got a whole lot of air through the lines. Had a connection on the pump, nothing that I did. It came like that. That wants to keep coming off. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to keep it on there because every time it moves, it wants to fall out of the slot. Apparently I was just wetting this down with water, so I'm coming back through, hitting it with a hot mix. Right now I'm just in a rinse mode, guys, and if you don't have one of these, I suggest get one. If you're ever painting and you take your 5-in-1 tool and scrape all the paint out and hit this up and just go down through that paint roller and get all that paint out, it'll clean a paint roller up and fluff it up like it's new. But on a job like this, you know, if I'm wanting to just spray and mist a little bit, I can. You know, I just have that cracked open a little bit, about 75%, but if I really want to put some pressure behind it, I mean, I really can. if I'm really wanting to knock some stuff down, I mean, you can with this tip. You want to water something around something, you can. Meaning like if you're going to be wetting the grass or something, you can pull it back and have a little bit of a mist like that. I mean, watering flowers, whatever it is, and you can get a good thing, and you don't have to keep adjusting the nozzle. I know they have adjustable nozzles for water hoses, but you got to change them each time. This one, all you got to do is flick your finger and it's there, it's done. Alrighty, I was going to show you guys what this looked like when I was rinsing it, but if you've never rinsed metal, it is loud. Even with the water hose, it's loud. I got all this up here broke loose. You can't see it so much. I'm talking about this panel. If you have these buildings, when the sunlight goes in there, they leave those panels like that where you can see in the building. It almost, sometimes in mine, I think I got a light on and go to flip a switch off when I go out. But all that black's gone. It's just some rust right there. You can see the rust down here on the bottoms, the screws right in here. But all the organic is gone. So we got that looking good. And now I'm going to head over here to the driveway, get it treated. So you see how good that came out, looking good, and go from there. Alright, right now I'm waiting on one side of this building over here to tell you what's difficult about this is the color of it, and it's in the shade. I mean, I'm showing you this house again, we're done with it. I just got to go around and take some before and after pictures. But looks good as it always does every time we get done with it. I mean, this is a simple wash. Today's biggest thing is just the building and the driveway, and like I said, that really isn't anything either. You got this side that was nasty, everything looking good, and I've hit this down here twice. What happened the first time on this building was I thought I was spraying the mix, but I wasn't. So I wet it down, so of course it diluted it. So I got that top coming a whole lot better than it was. I mean, about the only thing else I could do is probably get up there and scrub it, and I'm not going to do that. But I got this side rinsed really well. Like I said, she has some rust stains on this back side. I didn't think it was much of nothing. And then once you throw a mix on there, you kind of see some of the areas you didn't see before. So I end up rinsing this side here and seen some areas I just wasn't happy with up underneath the dark spot. So I hit it again just now and letting it set. Now I'm gonna rinse it off. All right, guys, I'm pre-treating. I guess you could just say I'm just treating it because there's no pre. This is what I'm washing this sidewalk or this concrete with, is just a hot mix, just soft washing it. You know, if you're out in the wide open, you don't care about killing grass and things like that. You don't have to go so slow like I am here, but I have bushes behind me or bushes in front of me, and just trying to keep all the overspray at bay. What I'm trying to do is just lighten this up. I'm not going to put a surface cleaner on it just because I don't want to say it's not necessary, because surface cleaner always makes it better, but due to big chunks right here out of it and cracks, and down through here you have loose gravel everywhere, due to that I'm not going to put any pressure on it at all. Now, if I feel like I need to, what I may end up doing is coming back and just ignoring that area and then going ahead and hitting it with, you know, maybe pre-treating and post-treating this section, hit it with the surface cleaner. But I explained to her what I was going to do, and she was happy with it. She was kind of afraid to put any pressure on it, and I don't want to put anything on it that it doesn't need. So Right now I'm just soft washing this, just like I did the building or the brick if you seen it. Just putting the mix on there, letting it do its job, and then I may rinse this and then hit it again. Alright guys, it's probably going to be a little windy in this video, but it's still wet, so it looks really dark. There's so many hollow spots on this, even though it pained me to not put a surface cleaner on it, because I know it would just come that much better. You know, I don't want to take a chance on busting it up. If she comes back, and because this lady's out of town, if she comes back and says, yeah, go for it, then I'll come back and go for it. But you see all these lines from, I guess that's where the concrete was poured. They're all down through here. But yeah, see, look at all that. I could avoid it and go around that and treat it twice, but it may make it look dumb. But she knew what I was going to do. I explained to her, and I think once everything dries up, so you got lines going sideways, down. I think once everything dries up, it'll look a lot better. Matter of fact, I know it will. There's no way that it couldn't. So that's a wrap on this one. Alright guys, so our shades done came on me on this one. But as you can see, the concrete is clean. You had all this black algae around here. It's still a little wet, but looks tremendously better. And no harm done to the concrete any more than it was already. So that's it.